I'm like currently in a weird in between place. I'm like, should I change it? Should I make it more of this, more of that? But every time I hear y'all say it, I'm like, I ain't gonna change it. You probably know what it means. Gotta keep it now. Okay, so I'm Angelique. I'm a senior fashion design major with a business minor. Wait, you just reminded me. Okay, so. Oh yeah, sorry. My name's Angelique. I'm a senior fashion design major with a business minor. I'm from Maryland, so I'm an out-of-state student as well. So coming to camp was like the fourth time I've ever been to Ohio because I have some family in Youngstown. And I started my business. It's a pandemic babies actually. And I was actually just making masks when like March started and I was home and stuff. And I put them on Etsy and I was selling them, which did very well because there were none. And that was kind of my first introduction to like what business is, or like how accounting works and how profit versus expenses are very different. So that's kind of what made me realize I actually could do business and stuff like that and do it full time and learn about it and stuff and teach myself. So that's when I started to stay silent. I was like, okay, I'm already doing this, halfway foot in the door, I might as well go full throttle. So I kind of started developing like a kind of business plan, which in hindsight, start with the actual business plan. That's always a great place to begin. And I'm a fashion design major, so clothes is my specialty, but I actually didn't start with that. I started with beauty products. It was me and my mom actually. She makes body butters, natural soaps, anything scrubs for your lips, for your body, all that good stuff. And then we also were doing makeup products like lip glosses and lipsticks and stuff like that. So we were kind of running that, and I was like, I like this, but I like my clothes more. But also part of it is just finances. It costs a lot less to start those kind of products versus clothes, because clothes requires the fabrics and designs and the production and the packaging, yada, 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 yada. So I was like, I'm gonna stick with this for her. But eventually I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. And thankfully for me, I was living at home, so that gave me a lot more freedom with my finances. And to top it all off, we were all home for COVID, so my refund check just went straight to my account. I didn't really have to spend on nothing. So I was actually able to like really get into my businesses, which, I feel like most entrepreneurs don't really have a lot of capital to start with, and they go from what's affordable to eventually what they want to do. And I was able to just, with a little too much freedom, try everything. Especially being on the internet, like we spend all day on like TikTok and YouTube. So I tried it all. I did like crafting. You can probably bring anything to me, and I can decorate or make it however you need. Like it's good in one sense because it gives me an understanding of having a diverse brand, but everything still needs a focus, is what I've learned. So once I kind of honed it in, I started working on custom apparel, which is what Stay Styling does now. And so my dad actually is a personal trainer and track and field coach. So I started making uniforms for his teams, from sweatshirts to pants to the like slings or tank top things they run in. I designed all of them. So that was like a good start. So people actually began to physically see the products that I was making. And even though I was moving into clothes, now I'm starting to finally get traction in makeup and stuff. I'm like, hey, I want to buy like a set of lashes and that beauty bag thing you did. And I was like, I got you. Sometimes, and especially when you're small, you're like, I'm gonna take whatever I can get right now. So I would still sometimes do stuff for people and then also do what I was actually trying to do. But eventually I had to like kind of draw a line. I was like, okay, I don't do that anymore. And I can't manage all of these at the same time. They all require production and time and products. And I was still a student and I was working full time, which I still am doing, unfortunately. So with Stay Styling, I kind of started to learn about the different methods of how to print on garments. And what my goal is and is to make sure I'm as diverse as possible to offer customers the most personal and interactive experience. So I really like to get to know who a business is before I work with them, what they stand for, and help even assist with giving them that direction in like, what kind of brand are you? What do you want from your brand? Because I can only help you like accomplish the goals if you know what your goals are. So, and that's kind of what, as a segue, led me to starting Societal Heights. So Societal Heights is a digital marketing and creative agency. So we help small businesses start making their marketing plans or their strategies, or even figuring out who are they even trying to market to. My mom sells luxury home fragrances, so candles, room sprays, wax melts, stuff like that. And working with her and myself, I started to get like super heavily into how social media marketing works, how using your hashtag works, what platform your customer's on, based on age, based on interest, all these different factors that we tend to overlook with social media because everybody uses it every day. I mean, now I post with intention, but I would post whatever, whenever at the time. I was one of the people who just posted like maybe once a month so that people wasn't seeing me too much. That was like my only thought. But now I post everything at a certain time. I post it with a certain audience in mind, certain hashtags in mind, location. There's like just a whole lot of factors that go into digital marketing. It also was something that I could do while being a student. Coming back to campus this fall, I was like, okay, how am I gonna do what I do and like work, because I have to pay rent. I have to pay for the finances that go into businesses, which even if they're small, they add up really fast, like really fast. Like my original site monthly was costing me $50 a month, which is like not a huge number, but it's huge when you're like broke. So, those are like kind of things that businesses sometimes they don't even like know about when you get started. Like everything requires a freaking subscription. I mean, bro, everything requires a subscription to use anything past the absolute bare minimum. And even if some of my subscriptions are $7 a month, $9 a month. But once you do 9 times 4, you do 7 times 4, you're starting to get to hundreds. I don't like that. And like it's like you gotta be pulling in hundreds to pay for hundreds, or you're just running it out of pocket. Which is a point I was at one point. Like all these fees are coming in and they gotta get paid because I need the services. Who's paying them? Me, my pocket was paying them. The business was supposed to be paying them. But it's a learning curve, and I'm still very much at a startup place with both of them. Especially with, I'm a senior, so graduation is impending doom, but it's fine because I'll actually be able to work on these just a little bit more. But something to like really remember, I would say is that plan that I mentioned in the beginning, that business plan. Like I would say what I did when I started is I went online and I looked for templates because I didn't know. I mean, I have a business minor, but that only affords me access to so much information. So I went online and I would look at free templates for a clothing brand, or a general template, or this or that. Even if, and just like everything else, all these sites that have these things want you for subscriptions, and I was like, no. So I would go on things like Google Docs or Sheets, things that are free, and create some similar kind of version of what that information that they were giving me access to was. And what helps also is that you just have to kind of do a lot of hunting to find where the deals are or what works for your finances, which is what I ended up doing. And that's why I started my second brand, because not everybody knows how to do that. Like my mom didn't grow up with Instagram and Snapchat and Twitter. Like she barely can do Facebook, and that's her main thing. Like, so that information that I have is for small businesses, especially minority ones, because that's who I was around all summer. I was at like every pop-up shop that they're meeting other business owners that don't understand at all like what the internet even means. So my goal with them is to help them actually get the businesses they have from the place on the ground to the next step, the next level, to reach the customers who love what they do and who are just as passionate as they are. And a lot of times, I don't think businesses fail like only from finances. That's definitely number one, 9 times out of 10. I myself am considering just like cutting the cords on it, because I'm like, how the heck can I afford this and still do life? Like it's hard, definitely, especially with clothing, because I think people underestimate how much it is to start a clothing brand and how much work it takes. Because I've had, a number of people who have texted me, hey, I want to start a clothing brand, like how do I go? And I'm like, okay, fine, do you have a business plan? Okay. like a plan, just like you planned what classes you're gonna take at school. What's your plan to get this money to make more money? Like, can't do one without the other. So it takes a lot. There's a lot of logistics to starting a clothing brand, from quality to marketing to just even packaging. Like, you know, when you see packaging in the mail, if it looks nice, you feeling good. You're like, spend my money, I ordered this, it's looking nice, and I just worth it, even if it was trash. You're like, at least it was looking nice, Amazon came fast, I can't be mad they broke it. Huh? So those are the kind of mindsets that with good quality that you want customers to feel, but in order to do that, that costs money. Even if you're, like, people talk about ordering stuff from China all the time. China got shipping. Shipping on wholesale starts at $30, $40. Even if you order one, you're still paying shipping for $30, $40. So now you're at $70. You're like, huh? How'd I get here? You gotta test products, you gotta make sure they're good enough. Like, you gotta make sure everything you do is good enough for whoever you're selling it to. So that all that stuff, all those logistics come into play. But if you do that business plan and you go through those details, then you figure out, okay, now that even if it's stuff you're like, I don't know what my financial projections are, but I'm gonna make a guess. So at least I have all this information. Then I'm gonna either look for someone online or look for information on how to go about like doing this better. Like here's my foundation. Now how do I build upon that? And because if you don't have the foundation, you just spitballing and hoping for the best and trying things until something hopefully works. And it works for some people. Sometimes it works, and but even when it does work, there is a next step that leads to more professionalism that even those people have to find. So as far as like financials go, finding resources, there's a lot of ways to do it affordably, especially as college students. Like most of us don't have a bunch of cash laying around to do whatever we want. Because now we wouldn't be here. We'd be traveling, doing all that stuff that we see everyone online doing, all that cool stuff. That's what we'd be doing. But it's fine. We can eventually do that. We just gotta do a little extra work on the side. Like Etsy is somewhere where you can get a business plan for $4. It's sometimes less. It's completely digital, so you don't even lose it. You don't have to print it out. I'm a writer, so I print everything, make notes on everything. Got like 7 million journals laying around. Buying a new one every time I go to Marshalls. It's a problem actually, but I'm gonna keep working on it. But that's like a resource where you can go. I was just on there today looking for a new plan. Even if you want a plan that's pretty, whatever, it's gonna be on there for less than $6. That's fine. Fiverr, that's somewhere where you can go for cheap and hire somebody to help you set up your website. Like $20, freelancing stuff. I do that with social media as I build my experience. I freelance, help people build websites, write Instagram captions, take product photos, all that stuff. So the biggest thing is it's gonna take a lot of research and any version of entrepreneurship and setting a plan. If you do those two, you're gonna be good because you're doing all that work already. You might as well get the results from it. I don't see why not, But I think that's what I would leave you with, that if you do some research, but research is not just you going online searching on Google. It's literally asking people like the ones in this room. It's asking your professors. It's going on all the social media. Like I don't really like YouTube videos because my attention span is so short. But I will sit there. Well, I'll try to sit there and force myself to get past the 3-minute mark on this video on how to start your so-and-so. Because these things they'll be long, and that doesn't work for me. That's why I like TikTok. If I want an exact answer to whatever I need to do, I go on there, I search, I find it. But that's not all there is to it. Sometimes you gotta push yourself past your regular to get a little bit more out of something. So setting a plan, doing some research, and the results will come from there. And in no rush though. It's not gonna happen immediately. Going viral is like a thing that really got people into starting their businesses because they thought if I post this TikTok, I'll be good. But even that, going viral doesn't equal sales. Just means a lot of people saw it. That's great. Now are these people buying? And if they're not, why? So my two companies, one allows people to represent themselves how they want to, whether it's a brand or a business or a nonprofit. And my next company allows business owners to build the foundation that they want to build and understand who they are as a company. So that's my thing, y'all.